Deputy President. Well, all I can say, honestly, is wow. Like, seriously.
Senator Hughes, just hold for a moment. I don't believe your microphone is on. I call Senator Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President. Well, I'll come back to the beginning, and I just want to say, guys, wow. I really did think there might have been some people on the opposite side of this chamber with a little bit of EQ, a little bit of emotional intelligence, might have been able to read the room. We had an incident in this chamber last night that was absolutely disgusting. The most vile of comments was made by a Green senator towards me that has been widely reported as one of the most vile things that has ever been said in this chamber. So what are you coming here today with? What are you coming here with? Smears, personal attacks, misinformation, lies. It is absolutely pathetic. Is that all you have? I mean, we know Albo's running a small target strategy. He's beyond small target. He's not there.
Senator Hughes.
Apologies.
Please refer to members of the other place by their correct title or full name.
Apologies.
Senator Hughes.
The member for Grayndler, no, he's running a small target strategy, but there's no such thing as a no-target strategy which he's trying to achieve. I mean, you have no policies on anything, and that is reflected in the fact that you come in here day after day making personal smears against the Prime Minister that are based in absolute mistruth, misinformation, distorting the facts. And I'm going to come back to COVID a little bit later, but listening to some of the responses and the comments that are coming from the opposite side of the chamber, I'm not sure we live in the same country. Australia has the highest vaccination rates amongst most countries across the world. We are at such a significant rate of vaccination, and this might be one for you to take a little note of. That's why we don't need quarantine centres, because once we're vaccinated, we're not quarantining. So we understand that you guys like to just throw money around, like, you know, because it's the taxpayers and you just chuck it where you can. There is no need for them. You guys wanted to give people $300 to get the vaccine. They've gone out and got it willingly for nothing. $6 billion you were prepared to just up the wall. $6 billion of taxpayers' money to try and pay people to get a vaccine. Did not need to even think about it. But I would actually just like to point out to this place that not only in this chamber do we hear vile comments, but in question time today in the other place, when the Minister Hunt was answering a question for the member for Chisholm, an ALP member screamed across the chamber, "Go and get a room." Well, we know you can't read it. Someone screamed out, "Go and get a room," to Minister Hunt when he was answering a question from Gladys Liu. Seriously, have you been sleepwalking through this week? The Jenkins report has been released on a week where we have seen the behaviour in this place to descend to new levels. Now, I haven't heard from one member of the Greens, and I'd like to say if Senator Di Natale and Senator Seward were here, they were absolutely decent people, and I have no idea the Leader of the Greens, when it was Senator Di Natale, would have come and spoken to me about the vile behaviour of his colleague. He would have come and talked to me. He would have come and seen me. Rachel Seward, I can guarantee, would have done that and messaged me after the many years I've spent with her on committees and knowing what a decent person she is. But not a word, not a peep from someone at the end of this chamber. Absolutely shameful behaviour. The words are, "I apologise for my colleague's conduct." But on top of that, just to rub a little extra salt in the wound, this morning, the member for Sydney, who ironically is my local member, when was asked a question about the vile comment directed at me, started her sentence with, "If it's true." If it's true. So we believe her, believe all women, except for Conservative women. They deserve it. They should have got it. It's fine to speak to Conservative women in that way because we're treated differently by women of the left. So it's not just what was said in this chamber, but the reaction that has been demonstrated by the highest profile woman in the ALP responding with, "If it's true." Well, it was true. There was an apology given because it was so true. and all you women in the Labor Party should be ringing up the member for Sydney and asking her to apologise, because that is disgusting and disgraceful. And if you've got nothing but personal smears against the Prime Minister going into this election, do you honestly think Australians who've had their jobs saved, who have an incredibly high vaccinations rate, who have been supported through this pandemic, is such a good way that you think your smears are going to have any impact on the result?
Thank you, Senator Hughes.